Hello and welcome back to Best Bets. What's going on? I am Matt O'Leary alongside Newsday's Joe Maniello. Joe, how's it going?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Unfortunately, it's a tough week for both of us after a couple positive weeks in a row. I went 2-3. You went 1-4 to bring me to 31, 49-1, and you to 38, 42-1. So have our work cut out for us in week 16 here, Joe.
Yeah, I got a little pick fatigue, I think. Long season, almost happy it's almost over. It's just too many games. You know, the whole COVID thing, moving the games around, all the spreads changing. I'm looking forward to the playoffs.
Absolutely, me too. So let's jump into it. We have the New York Jets hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. This should be an interesting one. Jets are favored by 1 here. Who do you like?
Oh, it's down to 1. Is it down because Salah tested positive, I guess?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone else besides him? Any players? I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, you have a few. So Elijah Vera Tucker, Michael Carter, the corner. Elijah.
Okay. So not Wilson or anybody. Okay.
No, yeah.
Yeah, this is just an awful game, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. It's funny that a year ago we were talking about these two teams with the whole who's going to get Trevor Lawrence, and it looks like neither of them have the answer at quarterback. Whether it's so early, who knows? You know, both teams don't have great rosters, so it's still time to figure out. You know, these guys are actually good, Lawrence and Wilson. I'm going to take the Jets here. Last week I was going to take the Texans, and then the Jaguars fired Urban Meyer. I thought to myself, wow, this is a great time to pick the Jaguars. They're going to be pumped up. They finally got rid of this coach. Obvious the players did not like this guy. Then they went out and were late in the egg. They were flat. They got blown out at home by the Texans, basically. I don't know if it wasn't blown out, but they lost. They were never in the game, basically. And the Jets played the Dolphins well. They almost won that game. So I'm taking the Jets at home. They had a couple of nice wins this year at home. And if the Jaguars can't win last week after the circumstances, I don't see any reason to take this team. The idea that Salah's not there isn't that big a deal. I mean, teams have won without the coach on the sideline. Browns did it in the playoffs last year. So, you know, I don't know if that's enough reason to switch. So I'm going to take the Jets here. This is almost more of an anti-Jaguars pick, and I wouldn't watch it. I know you're going to watch the game because you're a big Jets fan, but I'm not watching this game unless I see it on Red Zone, and I'm sure I'm not going to see much of it on Red Zone. So give me the Jets -1. Let's call it 17-13.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Joe. I'm not looking forward to this one at all. It's going to be ugly football with two really bad teams. I, too, am going to take the Jets -1, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game. I have no faith in either of these teams, but with the Jets being at home, that gives me a little bit of an edge. You have the 32nd offense in the Jaguars against the 32nd defense in the Jets. So it's like, which is going to look better here? I really don't know, but like I said, I'm going to take the Jets. They're the home team. I agree with your logic. I took Jacksonville too last week. I thought they'd rally around Urban Meyer being fired. None of these two young quarterbacks have looked all that great. I would say that the Jets have the slightly better team. I mean, these are both bottom feeder teams, let's be honest here. But I'm going to take the Jets. They should win this game, but I guess don't be surprised if they don't because, well, neither of these teams are any good. So we won't spend any more time on this one. Instead, we'll move to the Eagles and the Giants. Eagles are favored by 10 in this game. What's the play here?
Yeah, it's a big number, but I'm going to use the same logic as last week with the Cowboys. You know, at first you think, oh, wow, 10 points. It's a lot for a rivalry game. The Eagles just won on Tuesday, so it's a short week, but I just can't take the Giants. I don't see how the offense puts up 20 points. So as long as the Eagles score 24-27, I think they can cover the big number. They played 4 weeks ago, and the Giants won 13-7. That was the last game Daniel Jones played, and the defense played great, but I just don't see it happening again. Giants season's over. The Eagles have so much to play for during the wild card hunt at 7-7. And whether Glennon or Fromm start, I just don't see the Giants scoring 20 points. So, you know, they're stealing probably 17. So, as long as the Eagles score in the mid-20s, I think they can cover the number here. I think it'll be low scoring. Let's call it like 27-13, something like that. So, I'll lay the big number. And if the Giants cover by, if the Giants lose by 7 with the backdoor touchdown, so be it. I'm not taking the Giants with that offense. So, Eagles -10.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one too. With the Eagles -10, I was just curious. I was looking at the point total. It's at 40.5, and I might seriously
Well,
consider
I said
taking the
27-13, so there you go.
Yeah, I might seriously consider taking the under there. That seems a little bit high. I agree. The Giants' offense, without Daniel Jones, there's no chance they're going to put up points. I think the Eagles are playing really good football right now. They've turned
Even with Jones, they didn't score points. So
yeah, no, exactly. Not that necessarily matters, but it's just that Glennon slash Fromm, you have no idea what he is at the NFL. It didn't look good for Glennon last week, so I don't think that improves against the Eagles, who, like you said, they have something to play for here. And 10's a big number for a rivalry game, but I think the Eagles would be up for it. They like you said, they lost to them last time. The Eagles have been very good against the Giants in recent years, anyway. So I think they win this one. I don't know, 20-6, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
For our game of the week, we should finally have an exciting one here to talk about. The Patriots against the Bills. Pats are favored by 2.5 here. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm surprised this game hasn't been flexed until Sunday night, but I guess they like the America's team angle with Dallas and Washington, or maybe there's some other television reason why they wrote it on primetime. Maybe the Bills and Pats Monday night. Maybe that's why they can't do it. But to me, this is the best game of the week. The second one right behind it is Colts Cardinals on Christmas night. I'm gonna go with the Pats here. We both took them a few weeks. They played 3 weeks ago on Monday night, and it was a weird game because it was snowing before the game. And it was super windy, and it's a game of. The Patriots won 14-10, and Mac Jones only threw 3 passes, and they just kept running and running. And the Bills, the defenders were upset after the game because reporters were asking that they should feel embarrassed, and they were like, "Oh well, they only had they had one big run, but I mean they knew they were running it. They ran like 46 times, I think, for 240 yards or something like that, or 225, and they just kept running and running. So now they're home, and the Pats are off a loss. So I kind of like the idea that the Pats lost last week because, in a way, sometimes that's like how March Madness and the team was like 30-0, and they always say, "Oh, is it good to lose before the tournament starts? You don't want to have the pressure going undefeated." I kind of like the idea that the Pats lost. They had a 7-game winning streak. They lost at the Colts, and maybe they'll be a little more focused off a loss at home. And I feel like if the Pats beat the Bills the first time with Jones only throwing it 3 times, I don't know what the weather's like going to be in New England on Sunday, but he's going to throw it. He's going to throw the ball a lot more than that. So I feel like if you took them the first time and they won with just running it, you got to take them now with the offense will be more wide open. So I think it'll be a close game. So much on the line. The winner will take over first place. So right now I think the Bills are 8-6 and the Pats are 9-5. So it would be a tie, I guess. If they both beat each other, but I think the Bills might have a tiebreaker. I'm not sure, but a ton of stuff. A lot at stake here. So it's a great game. But I'm gonna go with the Pats. I think it'll be a close game, maybe a 3-point game, 23-20, something like that. But all year we talked about the Bills. I'm not a big believer in the Bills. They haven't beaten anyone all year, and they beat teams like Carolina last week. They beat the Jets. They beat the Dolphins twice. But the only team they beat that was good is the Chiefs, and that was earlier in the year when the Chiefs had issues. So until the Bills show me that they're be a contender, I'm still gonna go with my anti-Bills picks here. I'm going with the Pats. I like Belichick, obviously, and Mac Jones. I think they'll obviously have a bigger game. So give me the Pats minus 2.5. You said?
Yeah, 2.5 in this one.
Yeah, close game, but I'm going with the Pats.
Yeah, me too. We'll make it 3 for 3. I like the Patriots a lot too. I think them losing last week, and you kind of said it here, but I think them losing last week is actually more beneficial for them in this game because it was almost like their wake-up call. They had a little bit of a dud. They were on that such of a hot streak right there. And the line last week, both of us were saying that's crazy that they're getting 2.5 points, but Vegas knows sometimes, man. And in this one, I think that it'll be a close game, low scoring, like you said, maybe like a 24-20 kind of a game, somewhere right in that range. But at the end of the day, just something seems off with this Buffalo team. They're not the same as what they were last year. And with how good New England's playing, I have to imagine that they bounce back after a little bit of a down effort from them. And Mac Jones looked more like a rookie last week. I think he bounces back and has a good day. So I'll take the Pats as well, 24-20 in our game of the week. We will go for a best bet now. What's something on the slate that jumps out to you?
There's not many that I love, but I'm going to go with the team that had a nice win Monday night and has a chance at a wild card, the Raiders at home. I think they're only 1-point favorites against the Broncos.
Yep.
All right, so To me, I think the line should be 3. I don't know why the Broncos are getting so much respect. I'm pretty sure Drew Lock is going to start a quarterback because Teddy Bridgewater's hurt. And I'm not a big believer in the Broncos. They have a good defense at home, but I don't like taking them on the road. The Raiders, nice to win at Cleveland. They were 5-2. They had lost 5 or 6, and they got this big win. It's the kind of win that I think can carry over at least for another week. Then they finish with the Colts and the Chargers, so I'm not sure they're going to win those games. But them being set, both teams are 7-7, so the winner still has a shot at the wild card. Losers probably out of it, so it's a huge game. And they're only giving 1 point, so they got to win the game. I mean, the chance of them only winning by 1, well, my luck, they'll win 2019. But so the first time they played was actually, I think it was week 6, and it was like a few days after John Gruden resigned, and they weren't distracted at all. They won that game at Denver 34-24. And now that they're home, I think they've won the last 3 against Denver overall. They swept them last year too, I think. So I'm going with the Raiders here. This is it's one of those picks where it's like I usually feel really confident about my best bet, and this isn't one of those weeks. I don't love the slate, but I feel like it's only 1 point. So like home team needs to win. I think they're the better team overall, and they're going up against the backup quarterback. So to me, it's like almost like how do you not take them? So Raiders -1 best bet.
There you go. All right. For me, I'm going to go with underdog actually this week, and the Dolphins getting 3 points against the Saints. I know the Saints are coming off a big win against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, something that they do in the regular season all the time. But I think this Dolphins team is playing really good football right now, and they have something to play for too. Well, both these teams do, but I just like how they're playing. I think the defense is playing well. I think it'll be a low-scoring, back-and-forth kind of a game. And I just think that Tua, I like him as a quarterback more than I like Taysom Hill. So that's going to be a little bit of a difference for me. I think this is a close game. I think the Dolphins win this one outright. So, your logic, I'm going to ride with it. If you think the team can win outright as an underdog, take them for with getting the points too. So I'll take the Dolphins +3 for my best bet.
Yeah, I mean, they won 6 in a row, but they almost lost to the Jets last week. So I don't know. It kind of scared me off of them. I think they could win too. But I'm taking the Saints just because home team, and I feel like it's going to be a close game. I agree. I think it's going to be I think it might be a push, like a 16-13 kind of game. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Absolutely. How about an underdog for you? What's jumping out?
Okay, so there's a few of them that I like. The one game I actually like the most is Thursday night, Titans +3.5. But we don't pick those games because you post the clips on Friday. But if hopefully when people listen to this, I look like a smart guy when Titans win or lose by 3 or less. But there were 2 games that jumped out. The Lions, I think they're getting 6 on the road, and they just keep fighting. I mean, they play like a team that's in the hunt for a playoff spot, and they have 2 wins. So they're one team to consider. But I'm going to go with the team just based off a weird stat that a reader of my column who's into the picks, he sent this to me, and it's one of those weird stats. So I'm going to go with it and see if it works. This year, every team that has won on Monday Night Football the following week has not lost. So the only two times they didn't win were the Steelers. They tied the Lions the week after they escaped the Bears, and the Pats when they beat the Bills. They had a bye week the next week. So the other 12 spots, or actually no, 15. So the 13 times out of 15, the team that won in Monday Night Football the following week they won. So I'm going to go with the Vikings +3 at home against the Rams. They just beat the Bears Monday night. The Vikings are a team I picked often on this segment. I've always said all year they're better than their record. I actually finally went against them against the Steelers a couple weeks ago, and of course they had a great game, but it came down to a last play as usual. This team always plays close games. Last week was actually a 17-3 game, but they gave up a touchdown on the last play, so it ended up being an 8-point game. All but one of their games has been an 8-point margin, so I think this will be another close game. The Rams, I think, overall, probably the better team, but they just played on Tuesday, so they have even shorter rest than the Monday night team, so it's kind of weird. You play Monday night, and now you actually have more rest than the team you're going up against. That never happens. But I'm going to go with this weird stat here. I think it's going to be a 3-point game either way. So I feel like it's like a 27-24 game either way. So you're getting 3 points with the home team. And the Rams, they're playing for the NFC West title now. That the Cardinals have lost 2 in a row, but I feel like the Vikings are the more desperate team. The Rams are getting in the playoffs, whether it's as a division winner or a wild card. But the Vikings need the game. They're 7-7. I thought they were done after they lost to the Lions, but they won 2 in a row here. And they don't shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they're a good team. They just make a lot of mistakes, and they play down the competition, but the Rams are a good team, so I think they'll be up for this game at home. I think it's a close game. I'm going to go with that stat that the Monday night winner wins the following week. So give me the Vikings to +3, and I'll actually call the outright upset. Vikings 27, Rams 24.
All right, there you go. That's an interesting one. I haven't heard that one yet, but that's a good one. I like that. For my underdog pick, I'm going to go with the Steelers getting 7.5 in Kansas City. I don't know if the Steelers are going to be able to win this game, but I just feel like this is going to be a closer game than more than a touchdown or an 8-point difference for Kansas City to cover here. I think it'll be a little bit of a low-scoring game, maybe like a 24-20, something like that. I've said that number a few times tonight, but I just think, a lot of these games are playing into the lower end. But for this one in particular, the Steelers have a lot to play for. AFC North is wide open. There's a big game also this week in the Ravens and the Bengals, so one of those teams are going to lose. So if Pittsburgh wins, they could put themselves in pretty good position here. And I don't know if they will win the game, but I think they'll play tight. And I know you're a big Mike Tomlin fan. I am too. I think he's a great coach, so I think they'll be up for this game. I'll call it, why not? 24-20. So they will keep that number rolling, but I think the Steelers cover this week.
Yeah, I'm taking this week too. I had said to myself last week to take the Chiefs the rest of the season because they're like, in that mode now where they just win. Even when they get outplayed like last week, they still cover with the overtime walk-off touchdown against the Chargers. But they had a COVID outbreak with the Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So I feel like the line went down because of that. I think it was 10. So I'm taking the Steelers too, but 7.5. Hopefully it stays at a half. I can see them losing like 27-20. So that half point could be huge. So I agree with the pick.
Absolutely. So we'll run through these real quick. Both of us are on the Jets -1 against the Jags. Both on the Eagles -10 over the Giants. For our game of the week, the Pats and the Bills. Patriots -2.5. Best bet, Joe is on the Raiders -1 against the Denver Broncos. I like the Dolphins getting 3 points against the Saints. For the underdog pick, Vikings +3 over the Rams is Joe's, and mine is the Steelers +7.5 against Kansas City. So week 16 coming right along, and we'll check back in next week and see how we do. Hopefully a better week for us, Joe.
Matt, appreciate it. Thank you.